Guys, welcome. Today we are doing lesson 26, 32, 33, and 34 for Wit and Wisdom. So I'm going to share my screen with the video so we can get started.
Hello, first grade friends, and welcome back to Wit and Wisdom Instinct. Today's just Spears, and I'm so excited to jump into our lesson for today. But before we do, let's make sure you have your materials ready. For this lesson, you'll need your Wit and Wisdom Instinct journal and a pencil. Pause the video now if you need to gather your materials. In previous work, you've had an opportunity to reflect on knowledge and skills that you've gained, as well as examine 3 works of art. We'll continue examining the work of art today, thinking about the color and the lines. The question that will frame our work for today is, what does at color and line reveal to us? So you are going to be looking carefully at the colors and lines in the 3 paintings that you've already been working with. All right, to get us started, I want you to think back to Module 2. What do you remember about complementary colors from Module? Share with your learning partner or just share aloud.
They complement each other, correct? They can be mixed together to make other colors.
I know it's been a while and I wish I could have heard what you shared. But complementary colors means colors that are opposite one another on the color wheel. For example, orange and blue, green and red, violet and yellow. You're going to learn more about 3 colors today. The 3 colors you're going to learn more about today are red, blue, and yellow. These 3 colors are called primary colors, and primary colors are the colors that can be combined to make all other colors. Now you are going to look for the primary colors in the works of art for this module. Let's look closely at this first painting. You're going to first look for the primary color yellow in this painting. Now, the yellow that you identified in the painting doesn't need to match the color of the square exactly. I just want you to point to any yellow that you see in the painting. Ready? Point to the yellow that you see in the painting. Did you point to the yellow in the middle of the sky and in the reflection on the water? So we know that the primary color yellow was used in this painting. Let's look at the blue. Do you see any blue? I'd like you to point to any blue that you see. Are you pointing? I bet you pointed to the blue in the top of the sky, the clouds, and the reflection. So we know that the primary color blue was used in the painting. Now, do you see any red in the painting? If you do, point to any red that you see. Now, I didn't see any red in this painting, so we've observed that the artist used the primary colors yellow and blue in this painting. Let's try another one. Look carefully at this painting to think about which primary colors you see.
It's yellow and blue.
Do you see any yellow in the painting? I saw the yellow in the water near the bottom. I bet you saw that as well. What about blue? Did you see any blue in the painting? I bet you pointed to the little bit of blue in the clouds and to the right of the windmill. Now, what about red? Did you see any red in the painting? The artist did not use the primary color red in this painting. So We have observed that the artist used the primary colors yellow and blue in this painting as well. All right, let's look at one more painting. I'd like you to look carefully at this painting and determine which primary colors you see.
Red and blue.
All right, did you see any yellow in this painting? The artist did not use the primary color yellow in this painting. How about blue? Did you see any blue in this painting?
Mm-mm.
Yes, the artist used blue in the sky and the hill. What about red? Did you see any red in the painting? Yes, the red was used to paint the windmill. So we've observed that the artist used the primary colors red and blue in this painting. Okay, now that we've looked at the paintings, what is similar or almost the same in these three paintings? Share what you noticed with your learning partner.
They all have windmills. They're all outside. They all have blue in them. Maybe near water.
Here's what I noticed. They all use primary colors in some way, and they also all depict a similar structure. Okay, friends, what I'd like you to do is take a look at the names of all three paintings that are listed on the slide. Do you notice any familiar words in any of these titles?
Mill.
You probably saw it. All of the paintings have mill or windmill in the title. Listen as I read the names of the paintings. Windmill in the Jing. Osaishin Mill in the evening. The Red Mill. All right, now I have listed the name of the artist of each painting next to the title on the slide. What do you notice about the artist who did each of these paintings?
It's the same.
I'm sure you
artist.
noticed. All of the paintings have the same artist, Piet Mondrian. And Piet Mondrian lived in the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is a country known for having lots of windmills. And Piet Mondrian created his own versions of windmills through his paintings. Now, during the lesson today, you will be examining the similarities and differences in the lines in the Piet Mondrian windmill paintings. I want you to think back to Module 2 again. I know it's been a minute, but you had an opportunity in Module 2 to study the lines in Albrecht Dürer's Young Hare. And you can recall that artists use lines to help tell their story. Piet Mondrian used different types of lines just as Dürer did. You're going to learn a new vocabulary word for a special type of line. And that line is the horizon line. The horizon line goes across a painting from left to right or from right to left. And when you think of a horizon line, I want you to think about where the land or sea seems to meet the sky in a work of art. I'm going to say it again. When you think of a horizon line, I want you to think about where the land or sea seems to meet the sky in a work of art. Now, let's go back to one of the paintings. Remember, the horizon line is where the land or the sea seems to meet the sky in a work of art. Do you see the horizon line in this painting? Now, this time we're going to look at another painting, and I'd like you to trace the horizon line gently now and lightly with your fingers. Are you ready? Trace the horizon line. All right, take a look at the Red Mill painting. I'd like you to trace the horizon line lightly with your fingers. Did you trace it? Okay, now let's look at each of these paintings. What do you notice about where the artist placed the windmill in the painting? Share your ideas with your learning partner or just share aloud.
I think in the first painting, he put the windmill right on the horizon line, and in the second painting also, but in the third painting, it sits just a little bit below.
Did you notice the artist placed the windmill differently in each painting? For example, in this painting, Mondrian placed the windmill all the way to the left side. This way we can see all the water and trees around the mill. It looks small compared to the rest of the countryside. But in this painting, Mondrian placed the windmill almost all the way to the right side, and we can see some of the water and land, but not as much. But then in this painting, Mondrian placed the windmill right in the middle. You can't even see the blades because the mill is so close. The windmill takes up most of the space in the picture. All right, awesome first graders. Nice job examining art and looking closely at lines and color. Next time we'll reflect on the new knowledge you gained and the skills you've learned as a writer. But until then, be kind and do something because you are capable of greatness.
All right, guys. So now we are going to discuss the essential meaning of these Mondrian paintings. All right. So we've been examining these Mondrian paintings. We're talking about the types of lines. We're talking about horizontal lines and vertical lines. And today, what I want us to look at is how the artist shows the power of the wind and conveys movement in his paintings. So if you are looking at these paintings, you will see the horizon line, okay? And then you will see the windmill off to the left and off to the right or centered. But also around the windmill blades, you see where it's kind of fuzzy, all right? It's kind of blurred out. That kind of gives you the idea that the windmill is in motion, that it is in motion. So looking at the blue and yellow one, the water's very still. There's curvy lines that show it's not moving much. And the mill blades are standing straight and tall, like they've stopped moving. And we can see the details on the edge of each sail. With the windmill in the Gein, the one with the storm clouds look scribbly, like the storm's coming in, but the edges of the sails aren't perfectly straight. They look wobbly, and they're mixed with different colors of clouds. And so it looks like there's a lot of wind in this picture going on. The sketchy lines in the water make it look like the water's actually moving. The red windmill makes it look like it's not moving. It's very steady. Now remember that the windmills harness the wind to provide energy, move water, and help to grind corn or wheat and other important jobs, okay? So which painting do you think shows the power of the windmills best? I think it would be the red mill because it's big and strong, because the artist used vertical lines and bold primary colors? Or would you think the mill in the Gein shows how mills can catch the power of the wind and create power and energy for humans just because of the movement in the sky? Or the Usta mill with the extended blue and yellow and purple sky shows the beautiful scene, like a sunset, because it's so calm and so still. Well, in all of these paintings, he depicted the power of the wind in ways in his windmill paintings, just as they are described the wind differently in the other stories. Windmills are an example of how people have responded to the powerful force of the wind by using it to help themselves. All right, so let's look at another one here. So let's reflect on this artwork. So what can we learn about windmills from these different paintings? We know that windmills are often near water, windmills are powerful, and windmills can look and act differently in different weather or times of the day. So what do we know about the choices the artist makes to create a painting? Artists can use primary colors. Artists can use horizontal, vertical, or diagonal lines to create movement or stillness. Artists can use different shapes in their paintings, and artists can make horizon lines in different places. All right, guys, I hope you learned a lot about those paintings today. That is the end of our lesson, and I will see you back here tomorrow.